Welcome back everybody, Cookster here, still on the 69 C10. Today we're going to be wiping some body filler, not just any old body filler, but chopped up fiberglass body filler. So hang on and I'll show you what we're going to be doing. Alright, before I get this filler mixed up and start wiping, I want to go through what I'm going to be doing. Because once I get that filler mixed, I'm not going to be able to slow down and talk. I'm going to wipe most of this area under here. There's rust pinholes dotted along the way under here, and instead of trying to look upside down and find them, I'm just going to put a skim coat all the way across and then come back and sand it, and what stays stays and what comes off. There's nothing wrong with that. There's also little pinholes. These are my welds where I was welding against rusty metal, especially right down through here on the two corners. A couple of more pinholes along my welds, so I'm going to put a small coat also of fiberglass just along my welds right here, just to fill them up. Again, if I was on the outside of a car where I could get to this, I wouldn't be worried about pinholes. I'd have had them all filled, but I can't get to all that crap here upside down. So I'm probably going to just wipe the bottom seam first, and then maybe, depending on how much I have left. That's the other thing. It's hot out here. That filler is going to dry quick, so if I put too much hardener, it's going to kick like that. So I got to be really careful and really concentrate and be on my game to get this done before it gets so hard that I got to grind it. I do not want to grind this stuff with a grinder. Again, I can't see it. It's upside down. I don't want to grind off all my paint, my primer. I don't want to overgrind by any means. There's also, quite a few rust pinholes over here left where I welded up a bunch of welds over here. But I'm planning on wipe this in two stages. I'm going to wipe the flange probably, and then do this and maybe that at the same time. I want to be able to sand this stuff before it gets hard, as I said, completely hardens up. So anyway, I'm about to go mix my filler, and then we'll get this done. All right, here we go. I'm just kind of getting it in there right now. I'll come back and smooth it out in a minute. Sand. May not be quite there yet, but it's probably close. It's close. I can start working it down. I'm just knocking it down, the big blobs and whatever off of it while it's still quite not set up. So I'm gonna mix up one more batch. Try to do it in one batch. Cause this time I can put it on there and kind of let it dry and knock it down with a grinder if I'm real careful. Although there are a few places down here on the edge, a couple of pinholes I missed, and I usually like to take stuff like this where it's a lot of little small stuff. A lot of times I'll take tape and mark them. So I got some pinholes there. Got some there. So basically it's just wipe this whole edge, the whole edge right there, you know, roll it up into the curve. Now the welds stop, so I shouldn't have to check over there at all. And then they start over here, and here I got quite a bit of them. I can see these. No sense marking them. Now I'm gonna wipe my seam, my weld seam here and here. So pretty straightforward. Alright, it's starting to set up, but as I said, I'm gonna hit this intersection with a grinder. These edges here, let me see if I can knock them down a little bit with paper. Oh, they ain't dry yet. It's still, well, it's getting there. Still not quite set up yet. You'll know when it's ready. Right now it's coming off and it's hard to say. It's, well, it's hard to describe. It's coming off like I can't really describe it. When it goes to, I mean, here, now it's about ready. It's still coming off in little rolls, kind of like little Tootsie Rolls. It's about the best thing I can describe. You got to be a light touch though, because you'll cut gouges into it if you go. It takes practice. It takes experience. Do it a few times, use the stuff, and play with it. Not play with it, but get some experience. You'll be able to figure it out. You know, plan to maybe make a mess the first time until you try to do this. But you can do it. I mean, no doubt. It's starting to set up now. Enough to kind of sand it a little bit. You can't sand it hard, by any means. Not yet, especially. It's getting there. And by the way, I didn't mention, this is 36 I'm roughing it in with. Just take a piece of hand sand and work this corner up here. This corner is, you know, it's a big curve. So flat block really don't work that well in there for that. I'm just hitting this lower edge while I'm here. And I'm knocking the sticky off of this. I'm gonna grind that still. Now while I'm here, I can kind of work this down a little bit. just a piece of folded 80 grit by hand. Just gonna rub this down a little bit. That's going to be about the finish level, so that's why I did that, because not a lot of body filler is going to sit in there. This is probably going to wind up being the finished layer. Although a little bit might go in there. This will be covered over. Alright, let me knock down this center section right quick. Alright, I got this knocked down with a grinder. Got it knocked down with a grinder. It's not straightened, and I didn't intend for it to be. It's just there, like I said, to fill these little rust pinholes along through here. Couple little low spots in here that shrank when I welded. I went ahead and filled them with it since I could. It was already there. Alright, now I'm going to wipe regular body filler. And again, I'm going to do it in a couple, So now it's time to wipe regular body filler. And again, I'm going to do it in a couple of different sessions. I'm going to wipe this bottom edge first. Because again, just like with the glass, I want to be able to work this edge as it's setting up before it gets too hard. If I wipe all this and this at the same time, I'm probably going to lose the ability to do that. Even though the Evercoat body filler, the rage that I use, does sand very well even when it's dry. It's still harder to sand after it hardens, after it dries. And I want to be able to catch this bottom corner and this bottom flange and this bottom corner, you know, and sand the whole thing and work it down as it's kind of drying, because that's just the way I like to do it. So I'm going to do that. I'll do that section first, and then come back to the middle after that. So let me get ready to sand some body filler, or get ready to apply some body filler, and we'll do that. Alright, let's try and do this. I hope I got the hardener about right. I hate to waste this stuff. It's gotten way too expensive to waste. It was expensive before. Obviously it's gotten worse now. Well, we ain't gonna talk. That's not a round I'm not gonna go into right now. Now I get to use a cheese grater. Just a regular cheese grater. We used to call them tater graters. You can work this stuff down with these pretty easily. Just like you use the 30 to 6 when it's kind of setting up. Same effect with a cheese grater. I'm just knocking this, we call it knocking the sticky off of it, is what I always called it. Because when it dries, if you leave it till it dries with kind of sticky to start with. I'm just knocking that off. The bottom, I'm still going to sand with sandpaper. And that's not big enough really to do with a cheese grater. You could do it, but it's not really going to work that great. So, just start knocking it down with sandpaper. We're still low in the middle. We're also probably high over here. Yeah, I can cut this down some. That'll help. So let's sand this down some. One of those flat blocks, Dura Blocks. I got 80 grit on here. You get down in this inner corner here, and these blocks are good for this because this corner right here, you can get all down up in there with sandpaper. them right quick. See if I've already done it. No, that one's there. That one. There's one right here somewhere that I gotta find. Right there. I think there's one in the middle here I missed. But then I don't know where it's at. It was for the rear view mirror, which means I missed two of them, I think. Well, that's not, I have to get the mirror out and find them. Huh. Yeah, I don't know where they are. So I lost those two. There's two more holes there. Get the mirror out and find. Oh well, at least I got these two. And it's easy enough to get the mirror out and find them. I thought I could find it right here, but. bit bigger back. Maybe it won't set up on me so quick. I forgot to punch those holes. Oh well, let's do it later. I want to get this thing wiped and done before it sets up. And as you can see, I'm covering these holes up, but usually you can see the dimples poking through where they were. Told you upside down, man. Filler going everywhere, falling out. This is not easy to do. It's starting to set up. Let me get over here and see if I can punch these holes through. You can usually see the dimples from the holes. Like I can see that one right there. And then that one right there. And the one up under it, right there. It hasn't set quite good yet, but it's just about enough where I can let it dry on down to 80 grit. I'm not going to be able to get it just where it needs to be until I put 80 grit on it. I'm done with this tonight. This didn't feather edge that well for some reason, and that spot there, and I'm not exactly sure why. Not sure what I might have done. And I got quite a number of pinholes in the body filler, especially right here. So I got some right there too. So tomorrow I'm gonna come back here. Tomorrow I'm gonna come back and wipe one more light skim coat over this area. The bottom's fine. I'm happy with the bottom. Even all the way out to here, it feels good. Well, I hadn't finished sanding this bottom yet. Anyway, but all the way across here it needs one more little skim coat. And again, being upside down, it's kind of hard to do this, so probably why I screwed up. And just, you know, I screwed up. Didn't feather edge it right. Anyway, that'll be tomorrow. I'm done tonight. So I'll come back tomorrow and wipe some more filler. Yay. Alright, off camera I blocked my filler. Over here some more. Blocked the bottom edge. It's basically looking pretty good. Feels pretty straight. I do have to re-wipe along the top edge and feather it out some more. So I'm going to do that now. I've got a fan on, so I finally got smart and got a fan out. It's hot out here. It's 85 degrees and 75% humidity. So it's hot. It was hot in that cab, so I finally got some air moving. So yay for me, brains. Alright, now we're going to work it down. Just like I've been doing. 36 grit. I always knock out these holes first. You can see the pimples they leave. Once you hit them with a sander or sandpaper or whatever and knock these off, that's bad. You can't see them anymore. Scratch all works good too. Just to mark them. Yeah, I'm knocking part of the filler off, but I hope most of that sands out off. If it doesn't, then I screwed up. Take care of it later. locked down. I'm basically happy with it. You saw me work this little area right here. This like I said, this curve, this panel has this kind of a curve. That's a little high spot or a little ripple. It's really hard to feather something in the middle of a curve because you got two different planes and stuff working. It's hard to do. That could be a little bit high still. When I block it, the little trough that's right here when it's worth, I think it might be a tick low, should prime out. If I keep blocking it, I'm going to wind up cutting a big butthole right here, a big low spot. I don't want to do that. If I wipe it, I could wipe it again, but it's just a little ripple right here. I think it'll block out. That could be a mistake not wiping it. I don't know. It's one of those where it's kind of hard to say. You saw me working a couple of spots up here. There's a couple of little ripples along this top flange. Because I welded right here. I had to work that flange down, that weld down, and it wrinkled a little bit. They're not hard, they're not bad, they're very small. I also think those will block out with some primer. I'm not going to wipe them. I mean, they could be wiped. If it was outside on a panel, I'd probably do it. But I'm pretty sure that'll block out. So I'm not going to wipe that. I could, and maybe I should, and I may wind up regretting it. I don't believe I'm going to. I've also got a low spot right here that really is bugging me. You can see where it's high here and then low right here. The filler went in. That's another kind of ripple. The weld seam is. I lost my weld seam. I think my weld seam's about right here. I think. So that's definitely inside where I was welding. So I probably have a little buckle or something right there. Had to tap down. And this actually could be wiped. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and wipe this little small area right here. It's not going to hurt. I've got a few small pinholes that I can fill with putty, with polyester putty. This one over here feels feathered in really nice. Feathered in nice over here. So as far as straightening goes, this little spot right here, I'm done. So I'm turning the camera off. I'm going to finish this little spot. I'll probably put some putty on and fill these pinholes. When I come back, this will be done. It'll be primer time. Can't touch, never mind. Forget I said it. Alright, that's the end of this video. All the filler work is done. I went back and re-wiped a couple of places I talked about. The little ripples in the top seam, I went back and re-wiped that. And then the bubble in the middle, the low spot in the middle, I re-wiped. And I filled my pinholes. So it's ready to put primer on. Looks pretty good, I think. It should block out just fine. I was sitting there thinking as I was sanding, that area right there is one place that a lot of people would just kind of half-ass it. Kind of go at it. But if you think about it, sitting in a truck driving, that's probably the second most important place you're going to see driving. The hood's out here in front of you, and all you got to do is glance up and see that inner roof. And if there's any flaws in there that you've left, you're going to look up and see them, and they're going to be there, and they're going to be there in your brain forever. And you'll always look up, and you'll always know they're there. Even if nobody else sees them, you'll know they're there. And for a person like me, that drives me nuts. So. I think it's going to look pretty good, or really good. I think it's going to be fine. So anyway, that's the end of the video. If you made it to the end, like I said, thank you for sticking with me all the way to the end. I'm trying to put some good information in here, and I don't know. Anyway, so thanks for being here. Be sure and do all the YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, hit the little notification bell when I post new videos, all that stuff. Do all the YouTube things. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for being here. And I will catch you on the flip side. Y'all come back now, you hear? Yeehaw.